have a confession. We've never watched Lost.
Now, we're tired of hearing about it, so we're finally watching the hit TV show for the first time.
Come along with us to the island.
And please stay close by because
we're so lost.
We need you to stop telling us what we can't do. We're also rewatching the classic ABC TV series Lost. How you doing, Anne-Marie?
I'm good. How are you?
What's your name?
What?
What's your name?
Anne-Marie.
Last name?
DeSimone.
And I'm Bill Meeks. We need to introduce ourselves at the top of every show.
You said, hey, Anne-Marie, how are you doing? So
I
went with it.
We don't want our listeners to be lost.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, because they would be lost if we didn't introduce ourselves.
See, and then I thought you were making a reference to my costume today. And I wouldn't be able to tell you because I have no idea what her name is.
But the thing is not only would our viewers feel lost if we didn't introduce ourselves, but they might end up going walkabout.
Oh, we don't need them going walkabout.
Yeah, that would just be bad. And we are recording this on Monday night, 8:15 p.m. EST.
We decided to go live early. Sorry.
Yeah, at live.universebox.com. We do have a chatter with us. His name is Michael Lucero.
You may have heard of him.
Yeah, we'll have a voicemail coming up from him in probably about 10 or 15 minutes here, as we usually do.
The huge.
But we love being here to talk about
We do.
Lost.
This is really fun. I've been enjoying this.
It's a good time. Anne-Marie, why don't we go ahead and...
We're going to go over our spoiler policy before I read the rhyme.
Okay.
Just to clarify, since we are still in the early days of the podcast.
Yeah, let's go ahead and discuss this, because normally we're not spoiler sensitive at all.
Not in the slightest. We love spoilers. If you have a Gotham or Once Upon a Time spoiler, send it our way. However, Lost, since it's all over and done with already, everything's a spoiler. We're trying to watch this like an original watch through. And
the shtick of the show, is that we don't know what's going to happen.
We have no idea what's happening. So. We don't know any major plot points or monsters that are coming up.
So basically,
we are lost. Let us stay there. You can go, you'll get an answer to that eventually, or in season 4. Don't go season 4 episode 3 in the first 15 minutes. You'll find that out from X, Y, and Z. Don't do that.
You'll see when Sawyer gets his hand cut off.
Right. Does that happen?
And then kills Lori from The Walking Dead or something.
Bringing it all around there.
But yeah, so you can give us spoilers. Just keep them pretty general.
Very general would be great.
You know what? That means up until the episode we're talking about that episode.
Yeah.
So, we're talking about... Well, what episode are we talking about, Anne-Marie? But don't go past this episode that Anne-Marie is going to tell you about right now.
John Locke is a man caught up in a miracle. His vacation plans come off as satirical. Shannon teaches Charlie to learn how to fish. He'll wade through water to land a rich dish. The dwindling food gives them something to talk about. The gang's hunting pigs as a lame man goes walkabout. Walkabout, then.
Walkabout, mate.
Okay, mate.
Walkabout, mate.
Oh, this feels wrong.
What'd you think?
I liked it. I have some issues, which we'll get to, but, and seeing... Michael Lucero.
Michael Lucero in the chat room says that Locke kills Dumbledore.
No!
I knew it. I had him pegged as a villain from the start.
It was never Snape. It was John Locke. No, I liked the episode. I'm excited to talk about this one. Lots of things.
Yeah, it was a good episode overall. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it too. But as we mentioned, it did very much deal with Snape. I mean Locke. John Locke. And that's the first thing I really wanted to talk about. Now, the title of the episode is Walkabout. John's... story, or his past story in the past, is really about him, planning out this whole walkabout adventure in Australia. And it said that a walkabout is a journey of spiritual renewal. And I know this term from a lot of different things. I can think of there was a plot line with a Red Tornado in the 52 comic book series where this happened.
There goes that one.
Well, right around the same time that the series was going on, actually, is when that happened. But it's basically, you go, you walk, you kind of... You self-reflect, and you kind of learn a bit about yourself along the way. Native Americans did this with peyote. Like, they go out into the desert with peyote, go to the top of a cliff, and
Be careful
Yeah,
on peyote.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Exactly. So, Locke plans out this whole walkabout. Then he gets there, and they tell him he can't go because of his wheelies.
Yeah, the wheels that you don't know about until that very moment.
Mm-hmm.
That was quite the revelation.
Yeah, because you didn't know about that. We kind of teased about this last week, or I was like...
Did you?
Yeah, we were talking about the miracle that he tells
Yes,
Walt
the
about.
miracle. Did he tell him about it?
He told him that when it occurred.
Was happening.
Yeah, and I kind of was trying to prod you for if you knew anything, because I happen to know this one spoiler from when I watched the first season back in 2005 or whatever. But
Interesting.
So he's denied going on the walkabout because of his condition, and then he gets on the plane to go home, crash lands on the island. All of a sudden, he can walk.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he'd only had the condition for 4 years.
Yeah.
So something had to have triggered that. Like, I don't know if it was like an illness or an injury. And then I guess the fall just, shook everything back in place.
Maybe. Or, I mean, maybe there's something a bit more mystical or magical going on. I mean, I'm not ready, anywhere near ready to rule out the fact that magic is real, like, in this show. I'm assuming, in fact, I'm operating on the assumption that magic is real, that fate is an intelligent force. I'm also factoring in that, Hurley, for some reason, denies all laws of physics and won't lose a pound on the island. Even though he's out in the sun all day, working really hard, not eating very much because they're out of food. But I absolutely love John Locke's backstory. The group knows him as this complete and total badass.
Well, I mean, that, and I mean, he's just tough, not necessarily a badass, but he keeps to himself, but he looks tough.
Yeah.
He at least has that persona.
Well, I mean, they definitely have this perception of him enough that to when he comes at them with a suitcase full of knives and he's like, let's go hunt these wild pigs. They're like, okay, yeah, sure. That sounds good.
You obviously know what you're doing.
You seem like you're capable of doing that. Why not, right?
Yeah.
But so they know him, and especially through this episode, too, they even get more of a sense of that whole badass side of his nature. But in his previous life, he's weak. He's made fun of by all of his coworkers. He's
by
lonely.
One of his coworkers.
Well, by at least one of them. I would assume that that coworker was representative of the whole office. Because I mean, the weird guy playing a tabletop game in the break room. Like
he wasn't alone though.
He wasn't alone.
At least he had a friend.
He wasn't alone, but I'm just saying. I'm sure other people in the office probably felt similar about him.
Probably.
And even the TPS reports thing, which I think that was an office.
Oh yes, it was
office-based reference.
Yeah, I'm gonna need those TPS reports.
And the most intimate relationship he had was that that he paid for with a phone sex operator. Not even a proper prostitute, but a phone sex operator.
But a phone sex operator named Helen? That just seems weird.
Well, I mean,
shouldn't she be something?
I'm sure it wasn't a real name.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
But definitely a wide gulf, a big contrast between past Locke and present Locke on the island. Probably the widest gulf we've seen. I mean, we haven't seen a ton of flashbacks yet, but if I'm thinking back, and if I remember correctly, no other characters like this where the person they were before is completely different to who they are on the island.
Well, if we learned anything with our last episode, everybody gets a clean start. You get a fresh start. So this is him choosing to live how he wants to live.
Yeah, Michael Lucero in the chat room says, did you notice, by the way, the sound Locke's adding machine made? No. I did not, Michael. You can go ahead and tell us that.
You can tell us that.
No spoiler.
Accept.
But as you mentioned, I really did enjoy how they did all of the shots in the flashback sequences to where you didn't realize he was in a wheelchair until the very last scene.
There was nothing to indicate it at all.
Because he was sitting at his desk, or he was sitting at the lunch table, or he was kicking back in the bed talking to Helen.
Right.
Yeah, all the way up into where he's just sitting across the desk from the Australian tour guide. Yeah. And he just rolls out and big reveal. I do also enjoy that. Although I think, I don't remember what I felt like when I initially watched the episode, but I almost feel like that opening shot, because it was the opening shot, with the toe.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would have given me a pretty solid clue. I can't remember how I interpreted it when I first saw the episode, and I didn't know that.
Okay, well, I can tell you how I interpreted it. He was making sure he still had feeling in his toes. I took it more as making sure he hadn't broken something and lost feeling. So it's sort of the opposite. It's the same sound that the monster makes
as it approaches him. That's fun. That's a lot of fun. Okay,
yeah, that'll be a thing.
Now, one thing again. Do you have any other thoughts on his flashback sequence and all that at all? No. Pretty succinct.
We're good.
Okay, but the one thing that left a little bit of a question in my mind is just the fact that he's so obsessed with this new persona of his, that he's so into it, that I'm kind of foreseeing that there's going to be a situation where there are opportunities to get off the island, and he's going to intentionally sabotage them because he likes who he is on the island so much more than the person he was on land.
Well, who said he has to go back to his old life?
Well, I know. I'm just saying I could totally see that happening with this character. First of all, you'd think he'd be straight up about that to begin with. The fact
nobody is straight up about anything.
Yeah, but the fact that he'd been in a wheelchair or something like that, especially at least to Jack, if nothing else, Doc, check me out. I was paralyzed and now I'm not. Can you make sure that we're not going to go back the other way? So I can definitely see him kind of keeping things close to his chest, and if a situation happens where they can get off the island, him potentially sabotaging it or delaying it because he doesn't want to turn back that clock.
Interesting.
So that's kind of what I see.
Bill Meeks' theory time.
Yeah, that's my theory for now.
Your theories, your thoughts.
Yes.
So why did it take them 4 days to run out of food? Okay. So airplanes, they're big, but they're not like gigundo, and they re-up things at every stop. I can't imagine them carrying more than one meal per passenger.
Yeah.
So let's just say this is like a 250 passenger plane, because it was pretty big. Even at one meal a day for 40 people, because I feel like somebody out there said there's like 40 of them.
Yeah.
That's 160 meals for the 4 days. And they probably had already eaten something on the, and it just, math. I don't get it. I'm sure a lot was ruined crashing and wasn't found, or, they had to be down or whatever.
I'm sure they don't have a refrigeration system set up on the island yet either.
Well, there's that. There is that. But, so there's, so that's a valid thing. I didn't even think about that. Where are they storing the food? That had to be some sort of...
in their bellies, because it's all gone.
It's all gone. It's gone.
Wasn't Hurley in charge of the food?
Oh, he was. And don't be like that.
I say that as somebody who used to weigh 350 pounds.
Right. But he was also the person who gave Prego Claire 2 meals on the first day instead of 1. So you have that also. What was I going to say? So... also, why haven't they tried fishing before now? It really took 4 days. They're all just, hanging out. Wouldn't you have gone, well, there's an ocean there. Let's try something other than these prepackaged airplane meals and peanuts that we salvaged from carcasses, to put it nicely.
Yeah. Why aren't they eating the carcasses?
Okay, see, that's crossing a line. I wouldn't. Nope.
I guess a few days out, they're not ready to cross that line quite
They're not
yet.
crossing that line.
Well, they're
barbecuing.
They're having a cookout.
We're awful.
A little bit.
Shouldn't there be something? Even using a shirt to make a fishing net instead of having to stab it with a pointy stick, or with a knife tied onto it. I feel like we could put something together. We've got a man making antennas and fixing broken receptors, and we're using a pointy stick to fish.
Well, it's early days yet. They're just getting a handle on things. Shannon, I believe it's Shannon, asked Charlie to go do the fishing. Charlie asks Hurley to help him out.
Right.
And so they're starting off with Hurley's grandfather's technique.
No, we're not, because that was fishing off a Santa Monica Pier. I just think...
Well, I mean, they're starting off with this technique. It will continue to grow
Right.
as you know, things progress.
Right. Well, I mean, we had Korean guy who was digging up like mussels or whatever from the ocean 2 weeks ago.
I will say, Michael in the chat room says, I think people are still in shock and expecting rescue, so they're not being as active as they should in terms of survival stuff. Yeah, and
I can see that, but I think we're finally hitting the point where they're realizing this ain't happening.
Yeah, I can definitely see that kind of progressing as we go on. More people start to realize, oh, crap.
Yeah.
This is for reals time. So, and by the way, hi, Hope in the chat room.
So. Okay. Everyone is really surprised by the wild boars. Mm-hmm. Why are you surprised by the wild boars?
They sounded like wild boars. Like when they were approaching the plane.
Like, what is it? I'm like, it's an animal.
What could that
Right.
What could that possibly be? That thing that sounds like a wild boar. What could it be?
Yeah. Also, did the hiking group tell them about the polar bear? The random polar bear on an island?
I don't think that's common knowledge, no.
No? Okay. So
I think that was one of the things they kept kind of secret.
That's fair. But, okay, so what other types of animals are we going to have on this island? There's got to be some sort of birds flying around. We haven't seen anybody interact with, like, a snake or a lizard or I don't know, like spiky thing, whatever they're called.
I'd like some monkeys.
I'd like a monkey, but...
Locke could use a pet monkey.
He would totally have a pet monkey, fun. Like a big one.
Like a rhesus monkey.
Oh, it's a rhesus monkey.
One of those little ones.
Oh, okay. little ones. Or he'll have like a gorilla follow him around.
The monkey equivalent of a teacup poodle.
Oh! Yes, please. And shouldn't they have been more excited than upset by Locke's knives? Like, now they can actually, like, hunt and fish and debone the things and break down the animals.
Well, I didn't really read them as too upset by that.
I did a little... I've got, like, ants on my table here. Sorry.
You brought them from the island. It's okay.
Apparently I did. Also, last but certainly not least, so did the monster throw the boar at Locke?
I don't know.
What is that?
I have some questions on that too, because that's left very much hanging up in the air and everything. Okay. So I am very curious.
Yeah,
too.
like he was bloody, but he wasn't cut. Mm-hmm. And
obviously he got away. So I mean that's the big thing. But we'll talk about that more in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Here. Okay. Something else that happened in this episode is they really kind of hit you over the head several times that Jack is now the de facto leader. If you weren't aware of it from the place he's been put in the plot of the show,
right?
He is the protagonist. He is sort of the leader.
The leader of the pack.
Exactly, the leader of the pack. And it's not just him, taking the reins and being like, "Hey, I'm going to lead these guys and make them safe and do all this stuff for them and everything." No, it's other characters coming to him and assuming he's in this position too. Like Claire asked him to lead the service, the memorial service. Right. They expect him to deal with Boone expects him to deal with Rose off on the. But
he
at the end of the
sat
beach.
with Rose.
Yeah,
that one made sense.
But they didn't know that.
Well, Boone knew enough to say you saved her life.
But I mean. Yeah, but I'm just saying that, I don't think they came to him for that reason. I think they came to him because they see him as the leader of the group.
Okay.
And, so he's the de facto leader of the group, and he's totally, at this point, a reluctant hero, too.
Yeah.
He's fine being the medical guy, the doctor guy, but he doesn't want any non-medical responsibilities that the group keeps forcing on him, and all these non-medical decisions that the group keeps forcing on him too. I feel like either he's going to need to start delegating, being an actual leader instead of the reluctant hero, sort of the reluctant leader sort of thing, or he's going to end up snapping on all of them, and he's going to make some dangerous decisions for everybody. So
he doesn't even like when they call him doctor though, like Jack, Doctor Jack. Like, he said it a couple times. Like, he doesn't want to be just called doctor. He'd like to, be a person. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the opposite, though, where he likes the doctor stuff, but not the other stuff.
he likes falling into those comfortable responsibilities, but he doesn't like that being his identity on the island.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
I can definitely see. Yeah. You know, and his big flaw right now, especially, is that he's carrying to a fault, and he does things he doesn't want to do because he cares so much about other people, which I is admirable, definitely. But I think it's gonna bite him in the butt. Moving forward, I think he's going to get burned out and he's going to start making mistakes, and he's going to start doing more and more things that people want him to do and not things he wants to do or things should be done, and it's going to cost the group a lot.
Okay.
That's where I see his arc going.
See, and I thought him taking the time to go sit with Rose was just as good for him because he was there for a while. He was there pretty much the whole time they were on their hunting mission.
Yeah.
And I found that, like, you know, some good zen for him until Rose and her revelation, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
So
Lots more coming up about Rose. Michael Lucero says we'll hear more about Locke and his encounter with the monster.
Good.
That's always good. But yeah, you had something.
I have something. Have they walked around the entire island?
No, absolutely not.
Why?
Well, they walked over like half of it.
But no, there was a beach or an edge to the whole thing. I get you don't want to go to the scary inner jungle with the monster thing where you're watching it just tumble trees and stuff.
Yeah.
But walk around the whole beach. There's coastline there. You'll get back. You'll get back. You know, take like 4 or 5 guys.
I think we've seen a couple of them like go off to various ends. Like Kate went down the way to bathe, and
Right.
you know the other couple was like
The Korean couple.
Yeah, they were down on the other side of the beach, away from everybody for a while.
Yeah, but
I think it's probably, you know, a big part they want to try and stay together, except for these, you know, scouting missions.
well, that's
and
the
stuff
thing.
that are
They're
going
still
out.
sending these people on missions. Like there was like, what was it, 6 or 7 of them that went on the initial receiver mission and stuff like that. And Michael's telling me that it's a much bigger island than it looks. You know, I get that. But how do you not know that you're going to like walk around some rocks and find like a plethora of banana trees? Bananas are easy. Bananas grow back. Like a banana salad for everyone. Like
bananas.
banana.
Oh, also, this Hope Loves in the chat room says they assume that Jack is the smartest guy because he's a doctor and that he's a good leader because of this, which actually...
I could see that.
Well, to be fair, that's kind of the name of the game on a plane, right? Like,
yeah, is there a doctor on the plane?
Yeah, is there a doctor in the house? And then, you know, that's needed constantly. So, I mean, it kind of makes good sense, too.
It's dangerous. It's constantly need a doctor on an airplane. Okay, one last thing.
Yeah, but I would assume more exploration. They'll kind of, once they realize they don't need to stay on the beach waiting for a rescue as much, and you know, they...
Oh, I guess there is that.
Plus, you know, the leaders, the power clique on the island, they know about the monster, they know about the polar bears, they know about all the dangers they've seen already with the minimal exploration they have done. They're probably like, you know, let's keep it here for a while. Once they get a few more encounters with those people or those elements, and you know, once they get a little bit more comfy being stranded on the island, I'd assume we're going to see some more explore. They're going to start expanding, like Donald Trump in Scotland, you know.
Shh, stop it. Okay, one last thought. Who's the dude in the suit?
Good question.
Do you remember? You know the answer to this, don't you?
I have a
I
vague...
hate when you know the answers and I don't.
I have a vague recollection of something about it, but I don't know if I'm right or not.
I can sense Michael's head exploding with my statement of who is the dude in the suit.
Yeah, I want to know who the dude in the suit is too. Is he real? Is he not real?
I'm thinking he's not real.
Is Jack cracked?
Yeah. I feel like he's cracked, and this is like his father leading him, like, because he led him to Locke. So...
Yeah. Oh, you think it's his father?
I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah.
Just because the way he looked at him,
You never forget the face of your father, that sort of thing. It's a Dark Tower reference.
Things I don't get.
That's for my friend JG.
God, oh, he's listening. Hi, JG. Yeah, no, I think it's like a character or some personification of somebody who has guided him, maybe. And that's why he has such a strong reaction because, there are people on the island.
Yeah.
We brought like 40 people and, maybe somebody threw on a jacket. I don't know. They were cold.
Yeah, Michael Lucero can't say anything about the suit guy. Just wait, he says. Just wait, he says.
The waiting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I'm very excited, but we'll get back to talking about Lost in just a minute. But Anne-Marie, why don't you tell them a little bit about our Patreon?
Howdy, guys. You might be familiar. We have a Patreon over at patreon.com/universebox. This is a great way for you to help support us and our podcasts. Legends from Gotham, Legends of Gotham, Greetings from Storybrooke, and now We're So Lost.
We're So Lost.
It's a monthly donation. You can make starting at 10 cents up to whatever you feel like giving us. You'll receive free books, some exclusive content. You're getting these on audio early.
Yeah, we are posting all of these to our Patreon early in audio form.
Yes, so if you like listening at work and can't play YouTube, become a patron and you can listen to them at work. Let's see, there's some milestones like we'll write you a letter, sing you a song, stuff like that.
We're also releasing like movie commentaries.
Yes, we need
weeks and weeks and weeks before they get released on other feeds like our Universe
Box feed. Right.
And we're currently
we're revamping.
Yeah, we're revamping this for the new year. We'll be doing some change because we haven't really touched it.
Since we started it.
Since we started it about a year ago.
Right, and things have changed.
Yeah, so we want to thank our 29 patrons who are currently giving us $143.52 a month to make this awesome content.
You guys rock.
We're awesome. You're awesome for being awesome for
all
us.
Of the awesome.
Patreon.com/universebox. Again, that's patreon.com/universebox. And we want to thank each and every one of you for supporting us. We love you. Etc. 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 Oh wait.
What?
Michael.
I'm going to record a voicemail for the We're So Lost podcast.
What are you talking about? Michael, you can't.
Don't tell me what I can't do. Okay. Sorry. Let me get a tissue. Okay. That is why you should keep watching Lost, even if it didn't hook you from the pilot. That is one of my favorite moments in the entire show, and possibly the most shocking plot twist. There are some pretty shocking moments later on, but to my mind, none of them compare to this. Because after this, you kind of expect certain things to happen on the more mystical, miraculous level. But before this, you don't even know that something like what happened to Locke is even on the table. I still can't watch the last scene of this episode without tearing up a little. I think a lot of that has to do with the music, that sad, desperate, pitiful music that swells and soars into elation as Locke wakes up on the beach and finds that he can move his toes. Oh man. Another thing that's so striking about
something I loved even more than that was the look he gives the darn wheelchair at the end of it.
Yes, I love the look and then the smile.
I won't say what I wrote down in my notebook, but it's a very filthy word that says a lot about his feelings about that chair.
The moment is the sheer and utter contrast between his experience of the crash and everyone else's. The others are running and staggering around in horror and fear, and you can see the happiness build to ecstasy as Locke walks again for the first time. So already we're seeing a great example of the theme from last episode, Tabula Rasa, where one of the characters is using the opportunity the island is offering to reinvent himself. His life before the crash is really sad, really dull and meaningless. And in everything there, Locke was confronted with limitations, and his inabilities were constantly being paraded in his face. But here on the island, a miracle has happened, and now he's a man who is able and not disabled. He's a man that the others need, who offers unique skills and perspectives. But more than that, Locke isn't just making the best of the crash, he's embracing it with open arms. He's seeing what the others don't see, that the island is the best thing that could have happened to them. And by the way, did you notice the sound that Locke's adding calculator made? It's a little bit
we did. One of our listeners, Michael Lucero, pointed it out to us in the chat room.
Similar to one of the sounds the monster makes. And did you notice that the way Locke's face changed when he saw the monster? And I find that really interesting. The moment kind of still confuses me a little bit. I'm still not entirely sure I agree with what most Lost fans would probably assume happened there. I can't really say more until you watch.
They totes made out.
Totes.
Locke and the monster. Lonster?
Lonster. Oh, we are not shipping that.
Too late.
The season 1 finale, but put a mental bookmark in that moment. Okay. Rose tells Jack that the people in the tail section probably think that they didn't survive either. And I don't know about you, but I would be very disappointed if we didn't eventually find out what happened to Rose's husband.
I feel like you already
who was
know.
the man in the suit on the beach that Jack kept seeing? He seems like he could be someone pretty important. I wonder if we'll learn more about him, maybe in the next episode? Well, I guess we'll have to see. As always, thank you, namaste, and good luck.
Namaste.
Thank you very much, Michael. I think we have one more voicemail from you, so you might want to go ahead and start sending those in again shortly, because we
Yes.
might get...
We're probably going to get through that this week.
Yeah, probably
Let's just
this
be
week.
honest. Send us a Christmas miracle of a few more voicemails.
Yeah, lots of teases there. I really like
I
that. It almost felt
know.
like a next time trailer or something
Was
like that.
it? Well, these were supposed to be talking us down if we hated it, and he did these
Yeah.
before he realized we really liked it. So he's like, no, we might find this out. So
I like it, though.
I like it a lot.
I do like that tone. Keep that tone
I know. Yeah,
coming,
keep that. Keep
definitely.
that.
Okay, and you mentioned Rose and her husband. I had some thoughts on that, actually.
All right, share with
which
the group.
I actually, after hearing Michael's voicemail, I'm way more confident in. Okay, first of all, she seems pretty together when Jack first approaches her and they start talking and everything. I was expecting her to be just like...
Crazy?
Crazy boo-boo out there.
Yes, she wasn't.
Yeah, she was pretty pulled together. She was, talking very normally. She wasn't panicked. She seemingly strikes crazy right at the end of their conversation.
Right at the end there.
When she starts talking about her husband and the other passengers. She says specifically, my husband is not dead, when, as far as they know, he got sucked out of the back of the plane with all those other people that we've seen in that
Right.
oft-repeated flashback to the plane
Things
crash.
are flying, papers everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if she's in denial, or does she sense that something that nobody else does? That
It's the ring, because she was holding the ring. And, well, there's magic
Yeah.
here, so sure.
Yeah, does she know something about the other people on the plane that nobody else does? Did the other people somehow survive? What if, there are other survivors elsewhere on this island who
And this is why they need to go for a walkabout the island.
not a walkabout into the woods,
A walkabout around.
Oh,
A
and
walkaroundabout. A walkaroundabout.
a walkaroundabout. I
And
like
there's
that.
the title.
There's the episode title. Yeah. By the way, Angel's in the chat room. Hello, Angel.
Hello.
Hold on. I'm just going to type that.
Walkaroundabout.
Walkaroundabout. Yeah, but I definitely, I think that some more exploration is necessary. But yeah, it would be interesting if there were some more survivors elsewhere on the island from the plane crash. And what are they going to do when they run into this whole group that wasn't even looking for them? Are they
Yeah.
going to be upset about that? Or, yeah, I would be a little bit upset if, well, I guess his wife is assuming he's still alive. But, if I found out there was this whole group of survivors that were on the plane who weren't even attempting to look for me.
Well, he's not looking for them.
True.
It goes both ways, y'all.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would also. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe that other part of the plane. Maybe they dropped a couple people off in the woods along the way, and they just pop out of the woods one day. Hey, I need food too.
Well, seeing as how, the only thing I know is that new characters get introduced in this show over the next 7 years or whatever, which makes no sense.
But
You're on an island.
All that being said, I definitely I do think it's very unlikely that there were any survivors based on what we've seen of the plane crash. But then again, so is a giant monster in the woods.
Yeah.
And a polar bear on a tropical island.
A polar bear and some wild boars.
And an estranged son loving his father again.
Well, he was injured,
Michael.
and he had bonded with the Korean lady.
I guess so.
Coming soon.
Okay, you wanted to talk about the professor. I mean, Saeed.
The Professor and Marianne. So who's
It-
Marianne?
If Lost is Gilligan's Island, Saeed's definitely the professor.
Totally the Professor.
Marianne, I think, would probably be Claire.
Yeah, that's Marianne.
Ginger would be, what's her name? Shannon?
Yes, that's Shannon.
Let's see. Gilligan? Hurley?
It's either Hurley or Charlie.
Yeah,
I think it's a two-parter.
That could go either way.
That could go either way. Mr. and Mrs. Howe, the Korean couple. Done.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they're a couple. Look at us. This is fun.
Well, we didn't get the skipper. I guess Jack would be
I
the
was
skipper.
thinking Jack's the skipper.
Jack would be the skipper.
This is
for
fantastic.
sure.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
it only took us 4 episodes to break down the Gilligan's Island Lost comparison. I'm happy for this.
a 3-hour tour, a 2,000-mile airplane ride.
I think that also means it's inevitable we're going to do a special episode of this podcast where we cover the made-for-TV movie Return to Gilligan's Island at some point.
Duh.
Yeah, because they've got to go back.
And that's all I know. They gotta go back. Okay, so literally my only point is you go, Saeed. I love the idea of making the antennas to triangulate the French lady signal. I doubt it'll work, but at least he's trying to do something. Ta-da.
I definitely like that. He's getting Kate in on this plan too.
It's the two of them,
and it's just on the sly. Like he doesn't want to give anyone too much hope or anything.
Well, it's also because again, there's only like 6 or 7 people who know about the signal.
Mm-hmm.
So, and as you said, I have to lie to everybody. So,
Nice. They are talking Charlie in the chat room. This Hope Love says Charlie is my favorite character. And then Angel says, so far Charlie is one of my favorites, though I haven't seen a lot of the show. Mm-hmm. So the pig hunt.
The pig hunt.
Speaking of, them putting that wire up in the tree and everything, the pig hunt.
Yeah, the pig hunt.
So why does Locke lie about the monster at the end? I don't understand the why of it.
Obviously, something happened that he doesn't want to admit.
Yeah, I'm assuming he learned something important about the monster or about the nature of the monster.
He had to have seen it.
Yeah, exactly. But
Whatever it is.
I mean, because the camera angle is from the monster, and
You
Locke
see-
looks directly at it.
Right,
Yeah.
and the leaves are all separate. Like, there's nothing there.
So I'm wondering what he learns about the nature of the monster and why it's important to him to keep it from the others, to lie to the others about it. Because they ask him point blank,
Did you see the monster?
"Hey, dude, what's up? Did you see the monster?" And he's like, "No, dude.
No,
Dude. I just
dude.
just got a pig, dude." And obviously Mike Lucero has told us that yes, this will be addressed again, but
Yes.
I hope it gets addressed soon, and I hope there's some sort of clear answer about it. Like I mean, obviously he says Michael said that the answer did leave him wanting a little bit, but hopefully satisfies me to some degree. Anyway.
To some degree.
Also, I was kind of wondering because we see Michael's leg get messed up by a pig.
Yep.
I wonder if we're going to see this play out in a naturalistic way. Is there going to be an infection? Is it going to heal wrong and he's going to have a limp or something? Or is it just going to be like, pew, 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 and we're off to episode 5 and Michael's leg is fine again?
I don't think it'll be pew, pew, pew. I think it'll need sewn up and cleaned up and patched. But I mean, there's only so much antibiotics. He ain't getting any unless he starts looking pussy.
Yeah, I'm just saying, in this kind of, Lord of the Flies via Heart of Darkness, Walking Dead kind of world, an injury, any sort of injury is horrendous. It should be a major plot point because, especially after they already wasted all of the antibiotics
And they killed the guy.
On Federal Marshal Willenholly or whatever his name is. You know who I'm talking about. But so, yeah, I hope that kind of circles back around to being a major plot point in the next episode or 2 anyway.
It'll be something.
I hope they don't just drop it off.
Nah. No, I don't think they really can even drop it off because it was such a major plot point in this episode. Kate had to bring him back instead of finishing the hunt. His son started to come around to him because, my dad's injured. Like, it was a thing.
Definitely. I also, back to Locke and those knives. Why did he have to chuck a knife at somebody's head to let everybody else knew he had them? Was it just him being like flamboyant, like, "Hey, I'm Locke the badass"?
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
It just seems so unnecessary.
It seems unnecessary, but I think it actually also gave him, street cred or beach cred because it proved that he knew what he was doing with that. instead of just this guy going, hey, look, I've got these knives. Let's go hunt the boar. No, if he could control throw this knife, which how could he do that?
Well, he's been training, right? He's been training for his walkabout.
I would like to see some of his training because, he was in the, I mean, So there's that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what else did he have to do? He just talked to the phone sex operator and threw knives at walls.
Yep, there you go.
That's the rest of Locke's backstory. Literally, that's all it is. Him sitting in a room. Hi, Helen. Hi, Helen.
Helen, would you like to come out to an Australian walkabout?
$87 an hour. That seems high. It seems really high.
Have you been calling sex operators lately?
No, I did used to call a Teenage Mutant Ninja
Teenage
Turtles
Mutant Ninja
900 number when I was a kid, though, and I remember the
Hilarious.
phone number being several $100s.
Nice.
I got in trouble for that one. Okay, so, with these knives, Locke gets the pig. He kills the pig. He brings the pig home. The piggy goes wee, wee, wee all the way home again. And, it's nice.
Awful.
They're going to have some food for a few days, at least.
Well, now that
before
they have the
group.
knives to cut the pig.
Yeah, and, there are other pigs on the island. There's obviously some other animals on the island. Not many. But I think,
not necessarily not many.
well, not many that we've seen.
Thank you. It's only been 4 days.
Potentially not many that you could hunt hand-to-hand combat style with a knife.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to get a bear like that. Not with a group of guys with all 7 of Locke's
He's
knives.
gonna jump on the back and
Yeah. No,
oh, it's awful.
But yeah, so I mean, I seriously think, I hope somebody in the group takes the initiative and starts working on some farming stuff, because at this point, the group's not sustainable for more than a couple weeks.
Well, I think we'll get there, actually, in my next point.
Oh, you
little bit.
You want to talk about that? Okay,
Well,
go ahead.
it's sort of not directly, but it gets there. So Michael and the Korean lady's relationship, who I'm donning the Korean lady sweater today. So sure, they don't speak the same language, but they understand each other enough. Because I think they're both in just really weird places with their current relationships.
Yes.
Like, he doesn't get along with this son because he doesn't know him.
He's seen her topless.
He's seen her topless. No, he being Michael, not Walt.
Yeah.
And Korean lady and her husband are like, yes, Angel. Hold on, let's go back to that question. Why didn't they use the polar bear for food? I think because they'd had to tell people there was a polar bear.
Yeah, they would have had to haul it back to camp too.
They'd have had to hack it.
Which,
first.
I mean, polar bears are, what, hundreds of pounds?
Oh, that thing
Yeah.
was easily 600 pounds.
And they had other concerns, and they weren't again, in another situation where they weren't looking to survive long term on the island.
Right.
They were trying to get off the island ASAP.
Right.
But
yeah, I love that he asks her to watch Walt, and somehow they get there. And Walt and Korean lady end up sort of bonding over the chia, or toothpaste.
Yes.
Toothpaste.
Which I was really glad to see too, because it was literally a scene before that happened, before that scene happened where she shows him how to brush the teeth and stuff. I was like, man, these guys are going to have some serious dental problems within weeks, because no one's going to get to brush their teeth. And what chance for romance on the island? Because no one's going to want to kiss each other, because
But they're all skanky, so they
all
don't
have
notice.
stinky breath. But I'm glad they've solved it.
Well, and also sort of
cracked the case.
going with that, she had a couple of handfuls of different plants. It wasn't just the chia; there was something else. So
Yeah,
there's that.
I definitely feel like her and her husband are going to end up being very invaluable, because they have a lot of this naturalistic kind of knowledge that a lot of the other people are lacking. I mean, Saeed has good technical knowledge,
Right. Well, they
and
each
organizational knowledge.
and they each bring something different to the table. Like, the two of them come from a completely different culture than everybody else. Pretty much everybody else there is from America, Australia, and in England. Not New England, England. So between those three, they're all they're different, but they're all relatively similar cultures.
Yeah, I mean,
Similar enough, I guess.
They all went through the Industrial Revolution 100 years ago and have lived in that kind of
Right.
pre-modern and current modern and postmodern world.
Right.
Korea, that's more of a recent development,
Right.
more so than other countries.
Right, and while Mr. Korean couple, whatever, he he definitely has the whole. You're looking up his name, so I don't have to call him Mr. Korean couple.
Yes.
He definitely looks like he works like in an office as like an accountant or a tech guy or whatever. But growing up in that culture, he knows how to, plants and digging for food.
Jin and Sun.
Jin and Sun. Oh, yeah, because I'm going to remember any of that.
Well, we even had I believe Jin's Magic Sushi was the name of one of our
Oh, it was Jin's Magic Sushi. Well, that's relevant to this. So, but
it's going to be interesting to see. I'm very excited to watch episode 5, though, which is why we're probably going to end up recording the episode this week.
Yeah.
And that's good, though, because then we can start getting these audio episodes out to people, too.
Right, we might get some more feedback.
Yeah,
It won't
definitely.
just have to be Michael. All by myself.
Okay, arbitrary scale, Anne-Marie.
Okay.
Out of 47 wild boars on a plane, how many wild boars on a plane do you give this episode?
38. And that's not going to be popular in the chat room, I know.
Why?
It was really good. And it was nice to get a backstory that was actually interesting to me because Kate's was really boring. But I don't know. I want to know what happened with the monster, and I feel like they should have had another guy or two with them hunting the wild boar. And
Sadly, I feel that if your criticisms are that they didn't answer a certain question, you're going to be in for a lot of criticism over the course of the
I know. Okay, so
from what I've heard.
I don't know. I liked it. It was good. It leaves me wanting more, but I'm not like drooling at Netflix going, play the next episode. I don't care if we have to record. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So how does that make sense?
I can see that. I can see
Yes.
that.
Michael Lucero, I give it 47 and 1 loose tusk because Locke is awesome and that end scene is amazing.
Nice.
That's
Very
fair.
nice. Okay, as for me, I'm gonna give it 45 because I thought it was a really strong episode. I really love Locke, and I remember loving him more and more as the series goes on. I can't remember why, but I'm trusting in my vague memories to guide me through. But I really loved the whole thing with him. Watching the episode, knowing that he was in the wheelchair,
The miracle.
yeah, was a whole different kind of experience than watching it the first time when I didn't know too. So that was fun, and I just thought it was good. Thought it was a good one.
Angel gives it 45 wild boars. It was pretty intriguing
a good score.
episode, and I kind of want more answers. Again, Angel, welcome to the group.
Nice. Okay, so we are going to be back very shortly with talk about episode 5. We'd love to hear your feedback on episode 5 after you watch it. If you're watching this on YouTube in real time or listening to the Patreon MP3 version, we'll probably be recording sometime after Christmas, maybe Saturday.
Yeah.
The Saturday after Christmas, 2015. And if you want to send us in feedback, the email is we're so lost podcast at gmail.com. The Facebook is facebook.com/we're so lost. The Twitter is at we're so lost. And the voicemail number, as always, is 424-274-2352. Again, that's 424-274-2352. We're so lost might not be mentioned on there yet, but I will probably update
It will
that
be there
message
soon. Also, if you're sending us an email, please make sure We're So Lost podcast there, because there is a We're So Lost at gmail.com, and I have accidentally sent them stuff, and I'm sorry, I was wrong.
Yeah.
So just be careful with that.
Definitely. Okay, so I guess that'll about do it for this week. We want to thank everybody in our chat room, Angel and
Hope and Michael.
And Chancer, who's a bot.
Oh, Chanserve.
But join us next time because wait,
Yeah.
how do we end this show?
Because
I don't know.
you know what?
We're so lost. We're not on screen.
I know we're not, but I can't not. Here, put me on.
You have a Gus Gus. Which, by the way, here, give me the Gus Gus.
Gus Gus.
Somebody sent me a random Gus Gus in the mail.
And we
I don't
don't
know
know
who it was.
And, there's only so many people.
We had some suspects, but they were eliminated today. If you know who sent us the Gus Gus, let us know. Because we're so confused.
If you sent us the Gus Gus.
Yeah, if you
Let
sent
us
us the
know.
Gus Gus, let us know. Let us know. Let us know. That'd be nice. Yes.
Nice.
I went there.
You did.
Okay, but we're going to go ahead and head out of here, guys. But like I said, we'll probably be back with another episode this week.
Next couple days, yep.
Keep an eye on the Twitters, and if you're around, pop in the chat.
Cool.
We
Bye.
Also, Anne-Marie,
What?
I think we need to move your desk about a foot this way.
Why?
because I kept feeling like I was turned out too much.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel like over there might be better. But we should be talking about that off the air. Bye.
Bye.
Maybe.